Here is the 2024 Mazda CX-90 PHEV Premium Plus in Platinum Quartz Metallic over Black Napa leather. This is all new this year. It's longer, it's wider, giving more luxury than the CX-9. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over the pros and cons and the problem that I have with the new Mazda. Starting in the front, we're getting premium LED headlights and daytime runnings that brush into the chromed out bars that integrate into the enlarged grille with the mesh inserts that get the gloss black that's highlighted. The Premium Plus gets to 360-degree reverse camera front and rear parking sensors. 8.1 inches of clearance is standard on the PHEV. When you go into the turbo trim, it goes as low as 8 inches for the preferred trim. The lower is going to get the chrome inserts with an active air pocket with the gloss black for the vertical line. Underneath the hood is going to house the 2.5-liter eSky Active 4-cylinder PHEV that produces 323 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, achieving a combined of 56 mpges when you're using that PHEV system. Otherwise, you're going to be getting 25 mpges. With a total range of 25 miles, full electric, and a full tank of gas at 490 miles. 19-inch wheels is going to be standard on the PHEV. Going into the Premium and Premium Plus, you get the 21-inch wheels with the McPherson strut front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension, and the kinematic posture control, which is found on the Mazda Miata or MX-5, which uses the braking system to keep the car planted whenever you're taking bends in the road. And when you're considering this is over 200 inches long, and this is not a sports car, I like that we're getting some dynamics underneath it, because this changes the whole platform of the vehicle, meaning this would normally be going against things like Lexus. But even if you option the F-Sport handling package, the pricing to that is going to be at least $5,000 to $10,000 more than this, and this is going to handle a little bit better than that. Going against Infiniti and Acura, they don't even make a PHEV. And as for Lincoln, this is going to have more horsepower and torque, towing up to 3,500 pounds. And if you tick the box for the turbo engines, unless you go to the preferred, 5,000 pounds of towing is going to be max. So Mazda is going out of its segment class, going against people like BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. And now you're seeing the savings trickle in, because if you go PHEV for BMW or Mercedes, you're at 80 to 90 grand. And Audi doesn't even make one. You're going to receive a lot more chrome going into the CX-90 though, and it is to be expected because they're going against luxury and adding performance. With standard LED combination taillights, the lower getting the chrome trim that's going to wrap around, hidden exhaust outlets similar to Volvo, and if you're thinking about that XC60, add the air suspension, which you can't option that on this. Add 21-inch wheels, you're at a $65,000 to near $70,000 price point. So yet again, Mazda just going a step above everybody in its class. Power liftgate going into 14.9 cubic feet of storage with a home plug, 12 volt, bag holders, another home plug, LED interior lights with another bag holder. Underneath the floor is going to get a little bit of storage. Split fold the third row bench in the back by pulling the levers. At a 60-40 split, that's going to increase cargo to 40 cubic feet. Unfortunately, you have to go inside to fold down these captain seats, and that will maximize cargo to 74.2 cubic feet of storage. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, Napa leather, heated ventilated front seats, memory for the driver, headroom, and leg room. The all-new CX-90 is definitely going to be a little bit more space than the CX-9. The dashboard layout will have a different configuration depending on the trim that you go with. But when you go into the Premium Plus, it's the only trim that gets this 12.3. Otherwise, it's a 10.25. It's non-touch screen, unfortunately. Navigation starts on the Premium level. You can zoom in and zoom out. Bose 12 speaker starts on the Premium as well. When you go into the Preferred, you'll get an 8 speaker. Wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto starts on the Premium, as well as Sirius XM. Put it into reverse. We get a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. And using the rotary knob, you can change the configuration, which the rotary knob is right here in the center, and it has your gauges to control if you want to go into the home or simply just go into your navigation. Standard tri-climate control setting, wireless charging pads with a 12 volts, and you have the aluminum mesh inlay look with the leather that's going to be around the shifter, and the steering wheel heated will start on the Premium Plus multi-function with the paddle shifts, and a 12.3 digital gauge cluster is standard on all trims, and it can be configurable as well as changing the driver modes, which you have a total of 4, starting with Sport, Normal, EV, we don't have any range, so it may not stay there, and Off-Road. Heads-up display, auto-dimming rear view mirror starts on the Preferred with a large pano moonroof and the key fob for the new CX-90. It's going to be soft to touch where it needs to be, opens up as a 2-tier. Medium-sized storage pocket with 2 USB ports. The air vents are going to integrate into the door panels, and the dashboard kind of bulges outwards, which if this was a touchscreen, you'd have a little bit of a palm rest. The aluminum mesh inlay look comes into the door, and it's going to be soft to touch where it needs to be with the contrast stitching will touch up and down for the windows, and a medium-sized storage pocket. For the second row, headroom and leg room. Storage behind both of the front seats, third climate control, heated rear seats because of the Premium Plus with the air vents, USB ports. Fold this out. Now you got your cup holders. This can adjust, which makes it nice because these seats recline back. So that way you can make this a little bit more desirable for a long journey. Manual sunshades, and the door is going to have the same segment that's found in the front with the aluminum mesh inlay look, soft to touch where it needs to be, and about the same size storage pocket. To go to the third row, pull the lever, slide it forward, and that's the entrance to fit 3 more occupants in the back. Both sides will have cup holders with a USB port. And because I got the seats reclined, headroom is not going to be too much of an issue. As for leg space, you're going to have to share it because your feet space with these rails, it's a little tight. This also bulges out. You do have an air vent right here, but it's not going to circulate as well as it would if it was in the headliner. Sliding into the center, you'll have a little bit more leg space because you could stretch it out, but you can see it's still kind of tight, and it is a little bit more tight for butt, leg, and shoulder space. And if the seat is pushed back, there's no way somebody's going to fit at 6'3", and then the headroom starts getting compromised because of the way the headliner bulges outwards here in the center. 323 horsepower is out of this PHEV system with 369 pound-feet of torque, which is quite a bit. I have it in sport mode right now, and it still kind of feels a little bit heavy with the pedal. Changing it into normal, not really going to change much. You'll still hear the engine come in. There is a bit of road noise that is coming into play as well, but we are on 21-inch wheels, and you do sit up higher because of the way the design of this is opposed to the CX-9. As for maneuverability, you can maneuver in and out of lanes without too many issues. The steering is a little heavy. The seat cushion is comfortable, so you don't feel so much of the imperfections in the interior. And I like some of the design that they have implemented, like the new steering wheel, the new shift knob, just making it a little bit more luxurious. It's going to take me to some pros and cons, starting off with the pros on the new CX-90 third row variant that has a little bit more legroom, a little bit more cargo capacity. Towing, I wish, increased more, but this is a PHEV, so I can understand 3,500 pounds of towing. But on the turbo variants, kind of wish I was seeing around 6,000 to 6,500 pounds, especially considering all of their variants are getting standard all-wheel drive that is rear bias. And when you're pairing it with the suspension layout that they have, like I was saying on the exterior, it's brilliant. You're getting the Mazda MX-5 components in this, so it keeps the vehicle more planted when taking bends. And when you're considering a 200+ inch length vehicle, the height of this vehicle with clearance at 8.1 inches. I like that they have simplified it a little bit, giving us only 3 trims to choose from, and all of them will get leather interior with power seat adjustments. Now, on the cons, they do not offer a power telescoping steering wheel. It is manual. You have to go into the turbo variant in order to get this. Also, the wireless charging pad is not standard. And another con is you're getting a 10.25 non-touch screen across the board unless you go into the top tier, which is the Premium Plus that we have, to get the 12.3, but yet you're getting a 12.3 digital gauge reader. Unfortunately, non-touch screen is a con to me. It is easy to use the rotary knob, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure the learning curve wouldn't take too many miles to get adjusted. However, you have to also option into the Premium in order to get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So they are stripping some of the luxury features for a few $1,000 difference in price. So it's not necessarily a game changer, but the pro is when you go into the Premium, you get the captain seat option. You can only get the 8-seat configuration in the base trim for the PHEV. And going to comparable rivals like the new Lexus TX, this is going to have more horsepower and more standard amenities at a price point that is less, and that's kind of one of my favorite variants in this segment for longer premium luxury vehicles. Turn radius is going to get about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. Now with the PHEV, you're not really concerned about performance. It gets up to speed pretty much the same as the rivals, but you're getting the savings and more amenities than the rivals. That's really the take that you're getting when you go to the CX-90, because the CX-9 was good, but this just polished off the areas that they needed to work on to make it a lot better. But the road noise in the engine that filters in through the cabin, the sound deadening, I wish was a lot better, because they are stressing premium materials in the interior, but then they're lacking there. Also, you're lacking in the sense of getting manual or power cushion extensions and getting a lot more power seat adjustment. Plus, we don't have any option for massage seats. Now, I know it might sound picky, but when you're starting to hover near a 60 grand price and you're putting yourself up there because you really want to change the whole dynamic of your brand, throwing a few extra things, including a touch screen, would definitely make this a game changer, especially if you are considering a BMW, an Audi, or Mercedes-Benz, because the savings that you're getting with this, plus it's a PHEV, so you're getting 56 MPGEs combined, which is awesome. Pairing that with a level 2 charger or a 240 volt at 1.5 hours of charging, I think they did a great job. Unfortunately, the con, over 6 hours for a level 1 or a 120 volt. So you'll want to upgrade to the level 2 if you're really planning on keeping this type of vehicle so you can get the full range. I mean, 490 miles to a tank is a lot better than most of the rivals in class. But the problem that I have with the new CX-90 PHEV is that they push you into the Premium Plus trim, which is right around 60 grand, because you can't option features a la carte. And when you go into lower trims opposed to this, you're not even going to get the same screen size. The interior is going to be tight for the third row, even though we have increased length, and it makes it where you will have to adjust the second and third row in some cases in order to fit somebody that's my dimensions at 6'3" in the back. Towing capabilities is right on par for a PHEV, but then we have no storage underneath the floor, which you will have that in the rivals. As for Infinity, the seat cushion to that will become a lot more soft when you start going up to the top trims, but they don't offer a PHEV. Going against Acura, the same thing. Lincoln, it's going to have less performance than this, and once you start going into the premium trims, the price escalates more than this, leaving it against the Lexus TX, which will have a little bit more soft amenities in the interior, but this is going to have more standard features. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Mazda of Clearwater for giving us this 2024 Mazda CX-90 PHEV for our car review.